some of the issues that I had in the first couple of episodes, trying to either like relate or like have it be, it resonate, have sort of been answered by what we saw in episode 3.
Let's break down Heated Rivalry, episode 3, Hunter. One of,
Banger.
I'll say, people said after we talked about episodes 1 and 2, just you wait for episode 3. And we said, we cannot wait for episode 3.
I mean, we literally had to.
No, we were forced to.
Yeah.
We didn't want to. But with how episode 2 ended, you heard me last, but I was Shane starting to type out the we didn't even kiss and then deleted, and you're thinking like, damn, these two, they're in a relationship where it feels like love is just not allowed or feelings aren't allowed yet. One of the members of this relationship just does not know where they stand. What do we get next? We get an episode that has everything that has been kept from us in the first 2 episodes, which is a love story. Scott, Hunter, Kip, the juice maker, the smoothie maker, not barista, although we're seeing some people in the chat say maybe there was some barista references in the book. So we don't know that yet. We have not read the books. We are just watching the show week to week. But Scott Kip's storyline gives you everything that you haven't gotten so far in this series. And just a lot of it is like a counterbalance or a counterweight to what the other episodes are giving you, because Shane and Ilya, you have they meet as adversaries. They're supposed to be rivals. They're not supposed to like each other. Kip and Scott have a meet cute.
Yeah.
The Shane and Ilya, there's like a lot of it's kind of running around and being secretive, but like not really even being upfront with each other. Scott courts Kip.
Yeah.
Just like it's more of a love story, and
well, it's a different love story, and like I got some pushback or like some of the feedback that we got after the first episode, or the way that we kind of talked about the beginnings of the Hollander Rosanov story was like, yeah, the smut and the sex comes first, but like that's the way that it happens in a lot of gay relationships.
well, I said that last week, where it's like hot person meets hot person, they bang a lot. Oh, the horror. That's how. Yes, that happens in a lot of gay relationships. That happens in a lot of relationships.
For sure. But like, I think that like this is, you put it in a good way. Like it's a counterbalance, because in that story you get the sex and then like as a setup to the emotional connection. This way you get the emotional connection that leads to the sex. And it was a nice counterbalance. And I really, really liked this episode in particular, because like it very much took its time, and it very much like, I feel like I learned more about these two characters in 40 minutes than I did about the other in the first 2 episodes.
That's for a couple of reasons. One is the first 2 episodes are about what, folks? Time jumps. Half the time it just says on the screen 3 months later, 5 months later, or whatever. So you don't actually see anything or hear from these people. You just see that time is moving. And the other thing is what they're willing to give each other and what they're willing to show each other. And Ilya definitely has like one thing so far that we've seen he will give to Shane. Yeah, he's flirty with him and everything, but he's also like, you are mine.
There are walls.
Yes, there's definitely walls. And like I said, end of episode 2, where Shane's like, damn, I'm starting to catch feelings. Am I allowed to be doing that here? Scott says to Kip, I hope you catch feelings. I hope that after one hookup, you stay here. And also, I hope you don't consider that a hookup, because I am trying to make you like my fucking person here. And shout out Kip not being like, that was a lot. I will see you later. He was like, okay, I'm going to entertain this. I'm going to see where it goes. And I got to shout out the actor who plays Scott. I apologize. The monologue at breakfast, amazing performance. Like this episode is something that, and I don't want to get into the
Francois
Arnaud. Okay. I don't want to put these episodes against each other. I want to talk about them in the group that they make up. Whereas like these two things bring this thing counters that, and all that. I don't want to get into 1 and 2 were bad because I liked 3, and I know that you're not doing that, but I think that I'm already seeing a lot of people, like, you have your favorite episodes, and that's great. Like, I think that, I know that 3 is, I think, the episode that I will rewatch and rewatch and rewatch. Like, if I have half hour to give to Heated Rivalry in 3 years, I'll say, I'm going to watch that 3rd episode, and I'm going to cry. There's a special place in my heart for episode 2, though, because at the end of episode 2 is where I was like, okay, this absolutely has me.
At the end of episode 2, they plant the seed of what's to come. And then in episode 3, I think that episode 3 does a really good job of showing you what this series is capable of. And for those of us who have not read the books and are just going into this TV series, you see most of the first two episodes, and you're not really sure like how deep this show is going to go and how it's going to be able to explore the relationships, because you don't have that like base knowledge of the way that they're going to explore the Ilya and Scott relationship further. Shane, sorry.
Yeah.
And so episode 3 definitely elevated my like hopes and my expectations for this series as a whole, because you see what it's capable of when it kind of dives deeper into like the relationships and the intricacies and sort of the dynamics there. And so I'm very, very excited. I also think that like going into it without any sort of knowledge, like it was pretty obvious that the first 2 episodes were a lot of setup, but I feel like in the way that the setup was delivered, because of the time jumps, there was a lot of like, well, this happened, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. Whereas like in episode 3, I feel like it was a much better job of doing like, this happened, so this happened, or this happened because this happened. And it just felt a little bit more fluid and more just, I guess, like I felt way more, what's the word that I'm looking for? Just like kind of in the series.
Yeah, I mean, the end of here's what, among other things, here's what episode 3 served to do. It made the questions that you have at the end of it made the questions that you have at the end of episode 2 about Shane and Ilya, not about the show. You know, like at the end of episode 2, where there's the "we didn't even kiss," you're like, are we going to get that? And then you see episode 3, which is a lot more of like a full picture, like 2 people falling in love with each other. And you're like, okay, the show is going to do that. Mm-hmm. This question now just applies to these 2. Like the show is going to do it, but is it going to do it with Shane and Ilya? And if it doesn't do it with Shane and Ilya, are we unsatisfied? Because that could also like serve to that's a very human thing too, where a relationship is more physical than it is emotional, and one of the parties inevitably is like, I hate to say it, this kind of isn't what I'm here for anymore. I want the whole thing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you have any issues with episode 3 in particular?
Yes. Man in the Crease is not a good podcast. That is confirmed. I also need to note, I buried the lead here. I edited the Heated Rivalry Wikipedia page last night.
You edited it?
I had to edit it.
What'd you put?
It said that meeting, and I'm sorry to whoever wrote this, and I'm sorry to have pulled rank as a hockey person. It said that after meeting Kip and drinking the smoothies or juice from Straw plus Berry, he broke out of a losing streak. And I edited it to say scoring slump.
Ah, yes. Good call.
It was more of a scoring slump.
Maybe they were losing, though. Were they? Was that explicitly?
But they were making it about Man in the Crease, which I think we can all agree is a fucking rubbish podcast, was making it all about Scott Hunter. And as Scott Hunter does not play goalie, if he were a goalie, then yeah, they're losing these games and they're making it all about the goalie.
I had one huge problem with episode 3. And it may not be what you think, but there was a point in that in episode 3 where they're hooking up and one of them says to the other, "I can't believe you're into me." Both of those guys are just the hottest guy in the world. Like, how is there any world in which they would look at the other one and be like, ew, gross, or like, how is it possible that they wouldn't be into each other?
I mean, one's a pro athlete.
I'm a straight man and I'm into both those guys.
I feel like when you're a pro athlete, it ends up being more than just like physical attraction. You've got such a large selection. Maybe not as much like for a gay pro athlete because you have to be a lot more discreet, or at least in Scott's situation, he's being a lot more discreet. But like, I don't know. I think I'm a pretty good looking guy. If Cameron Brink was into me, I'd be like, why are you into me?
Oh no, disagree. That has been a core philosophy of mine forever. I've never been what are those two doing together? How is he into her? She into him into him, whomever. Like, I can answer it. They like each other.
I mean,
but on top of that, they're also both like the hottest people in the world.
Yes.
Like
yes.
that moment, like fully took me out of the show for like 5 to 10 seconds.
I mean, to be fair, like Sky in the chat said, hot people are insecure too. Like Kip is just a guy working 2 jobs, trying desperately to get into art school. Like I think there's reason to believe that he doesn't look at himself in like the.
Yeah, like there's talk about like the status and the class difference.
Yeah, I think
get
that's
that.
the big thing.
At the end of the day,
physically,
you are still fucking absolutely 10 out of 10s.
Yeah, I mean,
both of you.
Physically, Kip's the hottest guy in the show. I'll say that.
I think so
Kip's
too.
the hottest guy. Maybe it's because he's such a sweetheart.
Do you have the tweet that I sent you? It was like from somebody sent the tweet and was like, "Which Heated Rivalry guy is your type?" And it's just like the 4 hottest guys in the world.
And they're also
so
like, I guess Shane is at least part Asian, but otherwise it's like 3 white guys.
Yeah, but it's just like they're all like so hot, and it's like, which one is your type? All of them?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
So that was my one problem with episode 3. I saw like
I have one thing that I want to push back on from episode 3, and I'll also note on the Kip discussion and how hot he is when he did the Dreyfus in Jaws look, which was like the glasses and the sweater. I was watching with my girlfriend and she was like, "That's an amazing look for him," and I was like, "Yes, but we have to." This is one of those people, kind of like, don't let it go to your head, Pete. I kind of think this way about you, where like pretty much every look works for you because you're really handsome.
Thanks, bud.
Like that's what, on a different level for him, apologies now, there's where I take it back away. But Kip, I feel like any look is going to look really good. He's starting with an amazing base.
Yeah. And I also saw the tweet that was like, what reason does any man have to look like this? And it was Kip shirtless for like working at a smoothie shop. And it's like, because he's just like a hot guy who lifts and is, I think, like 5'6", 5'7". As a 5'6" guy, you go to the gym like one time and you kind of look like that. It's the best part of being small.
Also, be hot. Like if you can be hot, be hot.
Right. Like your job doesn't necessarily have to define how in shape you are.
I would agree.
Few things I want to hit here. One, Scott looking at Kip during the warm-ups, like that whole warm-up scene was awesome. That's where I was like, I am all in on this episode. Pausing the tickets.
I think that Scott should focus on the game a little bit more. Doing a lot of staring into the crowd.
For somebody who's trying real hard to be subtle.
Definitely.
Not the most subtle.
Like can't go to an art gallery with Kip where there's like 4 people, but during pregame warm-ups at a Major League Hockey game is like gawking into the crowd and waving at him. I mean, just not the most subtle. You're right there.
If we're going to talk about doing a bad job of being subtle, at the gala, there's a scene where Kip and Scott are talking to each other, and they do the I'm standing here looking this way, you're standing here looking this way, our faces are like this, and we're going to act like we're not talking to each other, but here's what's going on. 2 people are standing oddly close to each other, both staring at absolutely nothing and talking. I bet they're carrying on something they're trying to hide.
I will say, to be fair, I guess Kip was standing next to a woman.
Yeah,
sitting
fair.
next to a woman. So he has a little plausible deniability as to who he was waving at in particular.
Yeah,
but also, I wasn't sure how I felt about his friend.
Oh yeah.
Why? What do you mean?
Because
During the dance?
Yes.
Oh, where
it's
she
bad
like,
behavior.
Well, I don't know. I don't
lot of
want to say
insertion.
I don't want to say it's bad behavior because like I appreciate what she was trying to do for Kip, but at the same time, I think it was a certain amount of ignorance, I guess, as to the situation that Scott finds himself in.
Yeah.
And like not appreciating, especially presumably as like a straight woman, being like you need to like show Kip off to the world. I agree from her perspective as Kip's friend, but like I think you need to have a certain amount of grace for what that would mean for Scott.
Definitely, and I also think that you need to let people kind of like come to their own decisions and conclusions.
And I know this is it's
felt a little bit aggressive.
Yeah, but like I get that it's like a very complicated thing that gay couples, especially if somebody is like a public figure, has to deal with, like the balance between coming out at your own pace and all of that stuff, and also like what that means for any romantic partners you have. It's complicated, but it just felt a little it's like we've been dating kind of maybe for like 2 months maybe, and then just like this is my first time meeting you, and I'm going to insert myself in the middle of your relationship.
Not only inserting
like
into the middle of a relationship, and I would need to rewatch that scene, but and I feel this way about how much we talk about the show and all the adoration that we heap on this. I would not like this to turn into anybody feeling any sort of pressure to do anything that they're not yet comfortable doing. And in that scene, I feel like, and I could rewatch it, maybe I'm wrong, and if I'm wrong, I very much apologize. It felt like she was nudging him to come out. No?
It felt like she was nudging him to come out?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Well,
I mean,
it was essentially like,
which
she
obviously
was saying, speaking for Kip, like saying he doesn't want to be in like a secret relationship.
Yeah.
He doesn't want to be in the shadows.
Which is completely
so like
fair.
if this is going to work, you're gonna have to like be comfortable being more in front of the public.
If that's the approach where you're like, I know my friend very well, and he'll tell you that he loves you and that he doesn't mind being hidden, but you need to know that he does. Like if that's what where she's coming from, where she's like, I just need you to know the kind of man that you're getting in a relationship with and what makes him tick. That's fine. But pressuring, I think, anybody under any circumstance to come out when they're not ready to is slightly problematic.
Yeah.
But it's also like a real thing that happens.
I was going to say, it's
yeah.
also like, this is why
that's
people who paint things in black and white terms are living
Right.
an unrealistic life, because this is a difficult thing. Do you think that Scott, who has the purest heart I've seen on the show, this side of Hayden, by the way, is like, has any sort of like bad ill will, like unpositive thoughts when it comes to the idea of coming out? I think it's more just like, fuck, this is this. Like, it's more complicated for him than he wants it to be.
That's why I like the episode so much, is because like nobody is the villain in this particular story, and nobody's the villain yet in this series at all. I would say maybe like was it Shane's mom?
I think the parents are Shane's mom, Ilya's dad, but even Ilya's dad has a little bit of a redemption.
Or Ilya's brother. Ilya's brother is definitely the most villainous in the series so far. But particularly in episode 3, like nobody comes across as a villain or a bad person. And like somebody asked me on Twitter after I tweeted about it, was like, "Are you team Scott? Are you team Kip?" And the answer is like, we don't have enough evidence to be against or anti or pick a side on either one of these guys.
Skip.
Anyone, yeah. So like that's part of the reason that I felt so strongly about episode 3 being great, is because I feel like it handled the story and how difficult the perspective and the approach is from both sides of that relationship.
Yeah, while we're talking about people in Kip's life, we need to shout out Sean, who I did shout out earlier, but so supportive. What a good friend. Does not fire him for all that, and is like, hey, you clearly don't want to tell me something, so I'm not going to make you tell me anything, but take a couple minutes, get your shit together, and then come back out there. I think that, and at that point, I was like, there's no bad guys here. There's no, the villain, although I will get to a villain in a second, the villain is the circumstances. Yeah. It's not that anyone is like, there's no, until that dance scene, I was like, uh-oh, here are we maybe getting our bad guy? Like, there's no A Star Is Born. Remember in The Star Is Born, there's just that guy. I think he's her manager or something. Yeah. And it's just like meddling and fucking up a very delicate thing where there's like, an addict involved, and he's just trying to.
This would be better if you were dead.
Yes, like there's none of that shit. And so in defense of Elena, she wasn't saying like,
correct.
This would be better if you would just stop being such a baby, you know?
And like, shout out to Sean, shout out to Kip's entire support system.
Dad,
I was gonna say Kip's dad fucking
Dad,
rocks.
Elena, everybody, Sean, like that whole support system, A+.
I'm saying this as a straight man, so this might hit differently, but like I feel like instantly when I see a gay character, I'm naturally gonna go like, there's gonna be a someone in his life who is telling him that being gay is wrong, and like or like looking down on him, and it was very refreshing to me to just see a gay man have a very nice, positive relationship with his father. Like, I feel like that's so rare in pop culture, mainly because I feel like gay characters are often written by straight people. But, like, it was just very nice to see that there's, like, you know, there are good people in the world. And, like, this guy has a good father who supports him being gay or supports him for who he is. Like, that was refreshing to me.
Are we going to call out what's being said in the chat right now?
Nice eyebrow guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, with somebody.
We have new listeners.
Somebody came into the chat and said, what are these guys' names? There's glasses guy and there's nice eyebrows guy. So I think you win in that battle in terms of like compliments. I'm just glasses guy, but congrats.
In defense of Pete, and thank you, I wanted someone to point that out. In defense of Pete, the glasses prevent you from seeing how nice his eyebrows are.
Thank you.
He's got the thick frames that cover up the eyebrows, but I'll take that compliment all day. Yes, we've talked about Kip's dad, who is just fantastic. I agree with everything you both said there. Now we need to talk about the only, and I say this tongue-in-cheek, potential villain here. Based on what I've seen so far in the show, I don't know if I would believe that Shane would be as mean as he was to Scott after their game, where he said, like, didn't even show up for this game or something. That was, like, mean.
I mean,
that wasn't trash talk. That was just like odd.
We haven't seen enough from Shane to suggest that he would do that.
Yeah.
Which, like, maybe there's more in the books. And by the way, like, if I can ask anything from the Heated Rivalry fan base that exists before the show, can you please, like, stop telling us to read the books? Or, like, you can suggest, like, you should read the books after all of this is done.
So
but
quit asking.
But it, like,
I'm not reading the books. I'm sorry.
I might read the books.
I'm not
at some
going to.
point.
I don't
probably
like reading
won't,
that much.
But like, allow this to exist as a TV show, and like, please give some space to like people who don't know what's coming, whether it's plot or whether it's like ignorance. Because there was a lot of people being like, "Well, they're gonna get to the stuff that's coming down the road. The first 2 episodes were just for setup." All I have are the first 2 episodes and what's in front of me. Can I please like have an evaluation based off of what's in front of me?
Yes.
And please allow some space for me to find things out later on.
Yeah,
and
that's a TV show.
That's why episode 3 I felt was very, very awesome to me, because it changes the way that I look at the first 2 episodes, because I know what the show is capable of in terms of exploring relationships.
Pete saying, you know, you're all so happy to hear some straight guys talking about this show, which again, I said my piece on that last week. I'm like, a lot of straight people are talking about this show. It shows that in terms of media, maybe the bar is the floor, but I know that everyone who's watching this show absolutely fucking digs it. So that's good. But the other side of a straight guy talking about this show, that straight boy don't want to read. Pete's not going to read books.
I read books. I can read. I'm beating the allegations.
If I read nonfiction.
Right. I'm the only one that
Same.
reads fiction here.
So you are the required to read
I
books.
would be the target audience.
That is true. If anyone's going to read these books, it is Pete. Sean and I are both nonfiction boys only, and I'm finishing up a book right now that's nonfiction. And you know what I'm going to do next? I'm going to read a book about money. I'm going to do anything before I read.
Freakonomics.
Yeah?
It's a good book about like the incentive structure of like the Western economy.
Interesting.
What were you trying to say about the chirp at the end?
I just thought that was like you didn't show up for this. That just seemed fucking meaner than I know that chirps out there they're typically more creative, and they're so mean that they seem like not mean.
I don't have an issue with the meanness of the chirp. I have an issue with more of what you were saying beforehand, which was that like there's not enough reason to believe that Shane would be that mean.
And especially like the captain on captain thing and the Scott, like in my brain, and I could be wrong on this, but I get with Scott Hunter, I get let me think, not like a Crosby level, but just like a been in the league for a while, really, really respect, like maybe like a Patrice Bergeron type, where like not the best player in the league, but he certainly comes off as the gentleman of the league.
Well, he's way older too, which is like, and I think that a lot of,
and I just think like people aren't saying that, like a fellow captain is not saying that to a Patrice Bergeron type, but maybe he's not a Patrice Bergeron type.
Right.
Maybe I'm just basing it on the fact that Francois Arnault, thank you, I've learned your name, I apologize on the mispronunciation, is also from Quebec.
right. We don't know a ton about him as a hockey player and like sort of the attitude that he brings to the ice. We know what he's like off of the ice, which is a gentleman and says all the right things, but could be one of those guys who like has a switch where once he's in competitive mode, once he's on the ice, he could talk a ton of shit.
And I'll say, damn, when Scott hit him back with the, you're starting to sound like him, whew, that set him off.
Yeah. That was a good one.
I just need to say, apparently don't read Freakonomics. Chat was very upset about that. I got assigned to read it in high school a decade ago. Apparently every bit of it's been disproven, and it's not a good book at all. So don't read Freakonomics, according to the chat.
Look at Sean.
But somebody pointed out that like that's part of like the character development, I guess, of Shane and him spending so much time with Ilya. That like, yeah, it seems a little unexpected for Shane to act like that because it is a way in which his character is developed. It's not necessarily who the Shane that we were introduced to is. But it's the Shane he's become.
But that's kind of the issue that I had with the time jumps in the first couple of episodes is that, and I get like they may have had to do it with the time that they were allotted, but we don't really see that character development a ton in terms of him like growing as like a person, as a player, and turning into what he is now apparently in like that moment.
Yeah. I also think there's like to a certain extent, I assume every hockey player chirps a little bit. So I feel like it would be weird for me not to assume that he wouldn't say stuff. I just think
the end of a game, like you fucking lost, man. Like it's over. You beat him.
Yeah. But they're also like kind of boys too. Like there's a history of them being friendly. So like, I don't know. It might not have been like as intended to be. It might have been intended to be a little more friendly than Scott took it, which is why it kind of escalated so quickly.
I'm overanalyzing that line for sure.
Well, I mean, a part of the thing that could justify that line is somebody said in the chat, like, that's part of why he says you're starting to sound like him because it's out of character for Shane.
Very fair.
Yeah.
This is why we talk about these things. I also need to say that a big reason, another like big counterweight to this episode, and a reason why I will watch it on its own probably 100 times in my life, is it is so New York. That storyline and that love story felt so New York for me. Like the energy of someone going for a run, popping into a juice bar, meeting someone, exchanging some stuff, like becoming a regular, hit it off. Oh, I like the guy at the juice place. Hey, this athlete's been coming. Like it just all felt so, the energy of it felt so New York.
Even the gay bar.
Oh yeah. Yeah, that place was awesome. I like they turned it into a hockey bar. Any bar can be a hockey bar.
I do like that they were like that Kip was pretending like he did not like Scott and that it really wasn't a big deal when as soon as he met Scott, he just became a huge hockey fan and went to the gay bar. I was like, can we put on the hockey game, please?
Well,
every time.
In his defense, he did say that he watches the games with his dad sometimes.
Yeah, he was like a casual. But are you a casual who doesn't know the star player for your team?
And it seemed like he was a regular at that bar, but had just started turning on the game at the bar.
Yes.
So
yes. Another demerit on Elena, by the way, she's kind of a dick to the bartender. Like she near the end, she came in and she's just like, I forget what his name is, but she's just like, remote.
Oh yeah.
And then he brings over the remote. I get that that's me being nitpicky. That's a relationship because she also had brought the bartender food.
Right.
So like it was definitely a little like tongue in cheek. She's just being an asshole to her friend, but
and not to stereotype or like generalize, but like the gay friends that I have, the woman in that group is usually like kind of an endearing dickhead.
Fair.
And that's what I've noticed. Very, very strong personalities for women who hang around like groups of gay men.
Right. Okay. Thank you very much. Aaliyah, I believe, who says that Kip's dad is a fan of the other New York team.
Oh, so he's an Islanders fan.
Okay, so that would make sense there.
Scott's got to be a Ranger, right?
Yeah.
Real quick, getting back to Heated Rivalry, Scott does need to learn how to lock the fuck in. He's way too distracted before gold medal matches in the Olympics. You got to lock the fuck in.
I know. I was that person playing hockey that had to be reminded, finish getting dressed. We go on the ice in 2 minutes. Captain of Team USA. Oh, boy.
Lock the fuck in, please.
I'll say I looked. I didn't see any with the We Can Ask. I'll just say it. Jacob Tierney's going to be on the show. So excited. We can ask him if they needed to dye the socks to be that color of the blueberries, because Amazon does have blue socks with bananas on them, but it's more of like a fun, light, tealish type thing. And those socks were well blue.
Can we do a smoothie grade real quick?
Like, how does that
Blueberry banana?
sound?
No, like I feel like, not to overanalyze, but I feel like the preparation of the smoothie was not up to grade for a person working at a smoothie shop.
I don't know what you mean.
There was a lot of juice. Like if we're doing ratio, too much juice, not enough like smoothie.
I'll be honest, not really paying attention to the ingredients outside of him very seductively peeling a banana.
When he was nice.
Also, you see the bowl of fruit and vegetables that was there?
No.
It was oops, all dick and balls.
I mean, that I'm guessing
really?
was intentional.
Well, I mean, so are all the jerseys in Major League Hockey.
Yeah.
It's just all phallic shit.
Most fruit is ball shaped. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm guessing that's very intentional. It also, yeah, it was.
When I think of a smoothie, like I'm not thinking Dairy Queen level, tip it upside down, it doesn't come out, but
Gotta be a thickness to it.
There's got to be a thickness to it.
I mean, the best part of a strawberry, of any smoothie with banana in it, is getting the chunks of actual banana.
Chat just said, don't drop that Jacob Tierney's going to be on the show and just move on and talk about smoothies. You are clearly new to this show. That is exactly what we would do. We would give the good part for 1 second and then
What
say,
else do you want to say?
What do you want?
He's going to be on the show.
We can't like predict what's going to happen.
It's going to be exclusively questions.
Yeah, today is about smoothies.
It's going to be exclusively questions about
You've
his role
got
as
the
a pastor in
foremost
Letterkenny.
Four Eyes banana smoothie expert breaking it down.
That's not true. That's me.
Yeah?
I grew up on strawberry banana smoothies.
I famously would be the last person who could have smoothies because I'm allergic to bananas.
You can have non-banana smoothies.
I didn't want to address it. I'm on Team Sandy, Sabrina here. Chunks of banana is kind of crazy.
What?
Like I don't want chunks of banana. I want banana in my smoothie, and I want it blended up. How are you getting chunks? Are you saying like slices?
No, like I mean, you blend it up, but it doesn't completely turn into like complete liquid. Like there's still a little bit of chunks of fruit in the smoothie.
Fair. I just feel like chunks is a weird way to
No,
describe
like
it.
it comes up
it's
the straw.
Consistency.
No,
yeah.
I like when I'm drinking a strawberry banana smoothie and I get like it's like, oh, something stuck, and then all of a sudden I have to force a chunk of banana through the straw, and I have like something to like kind of bite through. Like, yeah, that's a perfect strawberry banana smoothie.
I think one of my least favorite parts of doing smoothies is when it blocks a straw.
It needs to be
and then you have to
small
suck
enough.
hard, and then it goes and you like choke.
I don't want it to like
No jokes
ruin
there,
the
please.
experience of drinking a smoothie, but I do like there to be like a little chunky that comes up through. Like I don't want to be drinking juice.
Right, exactly. Yeah, like you want the thicker consistency.
Yeah, but I like there to be a little bit of variation where there's
Glad
I get a little bit of a chunk banana and I have to actually bite through it. It's not like smoothie.
I'm glad we worked through that.
Yes.
This was a good breakdown. I would say that it was 80% smoothie talk, not enough Kip's dad talk. But again, like kind of with the Jacob Tierney being on the show thing, what else can we say about Kip's dad other than perfect character, perfect person?
Did we get
I was told by a certain someone who is going to be on the show that my taste in saying that I was a Hayden guy is good. That like good taste in like aligning yourself with Hayden.
Mm-hmm.
Hayden's a good guy. If anything bad comes out about Hayden, I'll be upset. If anything bad comes out about Kip's dad, though, I'm done.
Do we know what the story of his parents are like on the other side? Is he like a widow? Is he divorced?
You're saying you don't know the story with Scott Hunter's parents?
No,
Kip's
Kip's
parents.
I don't know. I don't know.
I definitely know the story of Scott Hunter's parents.
Fucking
was a pretty
insane
devastating
thing
story.
to be like, we haven't mentioned his parents at all. Oh, by the way, gruesome car accident, died instantly. And by the way, I need you to know instantly, they died instantly. I'm going to make sure that's a focal point of my speech that my parents didn't suffer at all when they got hit by that car because they died instantly.
And when I say dead, folks,
like didn't even see it coming. They were awake and then they were
Decapitated
dead instantly.
Yeah. Not even a question.
Just in case you didn't know.
Oh, in the book, both parents are in the picture. I don't know. I got big widow energy or widower.
Yeah, that's like a dad who had to step up and play both roles kind of vibe.
Yeah. So I want to find out more about that. I want more of Kip's parents.
I don't know. I think a mom in the picture might ruin the vibe. I kind of just like the dad-son
No
relationship.
here's a difficult
Elena's it.
Here's a difficult question, and I don't want anyone doing I think that opening the can of worms of like, I like Scott and Kip more than I like Shane and Ilya will piss off a lot of people because everyone's going to have people that they prefer. Obviously, it was just very hard to watch Scott and Kip without smiling like a big dopey baby the whole time because we love, and that's amazing. How are we going to feel when we go back to Shane and Ilya? Because I will not lie, I did send you boys a text message saying, bye, Shane and Ilya. Don't like you anymore. You're sloppy. We like Kip and Scott now.
I'll go back to what I said earlier. The bar has been raised for Ilya and Shane. But at the same time, I'm also more excited to get back to there as to what ground needs to be covered with those two and knowing how many stands those two have as like a couple, like on the internet. There's so many. What's like the relationship
The
compound
couple name for
Celebrity name.
Yeah, I forget what it is for Ilya and Holanov or something like that.
Brangelina.
How many stands that they have as a couple makes me very, very confident that we are going to get to some awesome places with them, and I'm excited to see it.
What I've seen from this show tells me they would not be making it if they weren't going to deliver.
Yeah, and also like I like the Skip relationship, but I think it's way less interesting without the context of the Holanov relationship, where like it makes me want to go back to Holanov because now I'm like, I think it emphasizes kind of the struggle that I think Shane's character in particular is going to have, not getting kind of like the cutesy relationship part of the relationship.
Yeah,
right.
Each relationship serves to show or to underscore what is not present in the other relationship.
Correct.
Like there's so much of Skip that is not there in Holanov. And obviously, we're talking about 4 different people, 4 different lives, et cetera, but these relationships are also extremes in that one is mostly physical to begin with, and the other is very, very emotional.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And they both serve different stories and experiences, and I like that they both exist. But I think that some of the issues that I had in the first couple of episodes, trying to either like relate or like have it be, it resonate, have sort of been answered by what we saw in episode 3, and that's why I'm excited.
If you enjoyed this video, please subscribe to What Chaos here on YouTube. You will get everything, daily episodes, player interviews, and so much more. It's all here on the What Chaos YouTube. Hit subscribe.